Hi, this is Rosalind Kind, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
And now, please welcome the petite flower,
Judy.
Judy. Judy.
Judy.
Judy. Miss Judy Tenuta.
It could happen.
Ed Robertson's reminder that Kiki Ebsen will join us later on this hour. Kiki Ebsen, youngest daughter of Buddy Ebsen. In the meantime, we'll open up our second hour by welcoming actress, writer, and filmmaker Taylor Blackwell. Taylor has appeared in more than 45 movies and TV series, including the Apple TV series Your Friends and Neighbors, the Netflix series Resident Alien, as well as such network series as Designated Survivor, SWAT, NCIS, Grey's Anatomy, and Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Taylor Blackwell was not only mentored by Burt Reynolds, but she directed Burt Reynolds in what turned out to be one of his final film roles, a short film called Walk On By, released in 2018. Taylor Blackwell recently wrote, directed, and starred in It Happened. It Happened, the Judy Tenuta Story, a short biopic about the late, great, legendary Aphrodite of the accordion. It Happened recently won the Best Independent Short Award at the 2025 Los Angeles Independent Filmmakers Showcase Film Festival. We began our conversation by telling Taylor Blackwell, congratulations on making it happen. I know this both from publishing and I know this from my actor and filmmaking friends. It's very difficult to get anything made today. So the fact that you not only got it made, but that It Happened has been so well received, I imagine that must be very gratifying.
Yeah, it is. No, I appreciate it. It definitely is tricky to get things off the ground today. You know, I think sometimes the pieces come together in a very magical way.
Well, I can speak to that, at least in general. I don't know whether this is the case with you and It Happened, but I know that part of the creative process is sometimes there are false starts and sometimes there are lags, but at some point, some sort of kismet comes together, and then, as you say, it all comes together.
Definitely.
I understand your initial inspiration for making It Happen was the death of Judy herself. Were you always a fan of her?
I was familiar with her, and then when she passed, that's when I came to understand who she really was and started to learn more about her. I actually share a credit with her, which is funny, and also, speak of the word kismet, definitely a synchronistic thing. Her and I are both voices in the same audiobook.
Really?
This book called Managing Bubby. And I didn't meet her because we were recording audio at different times. And this was several years ago. I was 17 at the time. So I've had an awareness of her for a while, but it really wasn't until after she passed away that I started to learn more about her and start to really become a super fan at that point.
Taylor Blackwell is on the line with us. Taylor Blackwell, the award-winning filmmaker and actress that the Today Show named one of tomorrow's top talent. Today, It Happened, the Judy Tenuta Story, short biopic about the late, great, legendary Aphrodite of the accordion. The trailer for It Happened is available on YouTube. And what's cool about your film on Judy Tenuta, Taylor, is that it is an authentic portrayal of Judy in every sense of the word. Not only do you assume Judy the person and Judy the stage persona, the love goddess persona, but you had an opportunity to wear some of Judy's actual wardrobe and use some of Judy's actual feather boas. How did that happen?
I'm lucky that I had the support of Judy's life partner, Vern Payne, who now runs the Judy Tenuta Legacy, and also her friends and family were quite supportive and cheering us on throughout this whole process. A lot of them I got to meet at Hollywood Forever because they did a celebration of life for Judy after she had passed away and unveiled a statue of her there at the cemetery. And when I was going about making this process, Vern was very generous in allowing me to actually step into Judy's closet and pick out pieces for myself to wear in the film. And like you said, that included dresses and sort of main pieces, but even down to the accessories, feather boas, the flowers in my hair Judy would always wear, her shoes, her rings, and all sorts of things. They came right from Judy's closet.
I've talked to a few costume designers, wardrobe people in the course of doing this show, Taylor, and they tell me that something transformative often happens once an actor or an actress puts on their costume. In many ways, they become the character that they play. Was that your experience once you put on some of Judy's wardrobe?
I think it was something very close to that. It was definitely a magical, alchemical moment for me, and our costumer, Bria Holmes, she was there to witness that moment when I put on Judy's clothes for the first time, and also her real accordion I got to use for the film too. And I just remember standing in one of the outfits and wearing the accordion for the first time, and Bria, the costumer, and I both thought, man, this is something really special, and definitely helped me to feel somewhat connected to Judy's energy.
Taylor Blackwell is the writer, producer, and star of It Happened, a short biopic about the life and career and legacy of legendary comedienne Judy Tenuta. It Happened. The trailer for It Happened is available on YouTube. You've won some awards for It Happened. I know there are platforms that are dedicated to short films. Are there wider distribution plans for the film that you're at liberty to tell us?
The current plan is to play more film festivals around the country, and perhaps your listeners can help us with this endeavor, because we want to get in front of as many audiences in person as possible. We played the LA Film Fest last month, and we won Best Indie Short at that festival. And so I'm curious if any of the listeners, they run a film festival or their friend runs a film festival. If so, they can reach out to me directly at my email, which is tayblackwell@gmail.com, and see if they want to play the film at somewhere near them. So after we do a series of film festivals, we'll then be releasing the film online in some capacity, but what that exactly looks like yet, I'm not certain.
So did you say tayblackwell@gmail?
Right, it's like my name, Taylor, Tay.
Okay.
My nickname.
Okay, tayblackwell@gmail.com. We'll also hyperlink that in the show notes when this becomes available as a podcast.
Great.
We'll do whatever we can to get the word out.
Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay Area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
One more item. If you're starting a company, particularly one that is in an emerging market, you know that averting any sort of legal dispute is crucial to your business plan. Our friends at Tectonic Law offer an array of services that can help you avoid and preempt future litigation while also developing and protecting your intellectual property and intangible assets. Tectonic Law serves the needs of a host of emerging industries throughout California and beyond, including industrial designers, beverage makers, artists, farmers, retail stores, health practitioners, wellness experts, cosmetics manufacturers, nonprofit organizations, innovators in sustainable practices, and libraries. Go to tectoniclaw.com to learn more about how Tectonic Law can help your business thrive. tectoniclaw.com. Rock solid representation for groundbreaking industries.
Hi, this is Harry Shearer, and you are listening to TV Confidential, a radio show about television.
I just want a cowboy who's rich and lives in Rome. I just want a cowboy with gold-plated soap. Yeah, I just want a cowboy named John Paul the Pope.
Okay, so we talked about the experience of trying on Judy's wardrobe for the first time as you were getting ready to play her. How long, first of all, let me preface this. You do not do an impression of Judy. You assume Judy as a person. You become Judy in character. There's a distinction between that. So with that said, how long did it take for you to get that raspy love goddess stage voice down?
The raspy part was the hard part, actually, because she also will often go into that higher register of her voice, and that was something I could tap into pretty easy, but the lower part is something I never accessed in my everyday life. So that took a little extra time, but since I wrote the project as well and had just watched every video of her I could get my hands on in the course of writing the project and doing research, I think by the time it came around to start working on the performance, some of that was already kind of in my bones, and then it was just a matter of really trying to reach that lower part of my chest voice.
This is not your first short film. You've made other shorts before. What is it about the short film genre that works for you, that attracted you?
Well, this is the first short that I've made that I have received financing for. All the other shorts I've made have been just fun, kind of more silly things that I've done with no money at all. And I guess that's part of the beauty of a short film, is that you can tell a story without some of the expenses of a feature-length film. It's a little bit more accessible and gives you a taste of what's to come, hopefully leave the audience wanting some more.
Well, you kind of touched on something I wanted to ask you, because, okay, with the short film, you may only have 15, 20 pages once you're ready to shoot, but I would imagine you don't start with just 15, 20 pages in mind. It takes as long, you almost have to think in terms of a feature-length project to get all the story points you want to include, and then whittle it down to the final shooting form for the short film. Or am I off base there?
No, I think that's accurate. I mean, especially when approaching a biopic, which is what this film is, and looking at how do you give a glance into someone's whole life and all this lived experience, and Judy did so much. How do you even potentially go about showing that in such a small length of time? And it wouldn't be possible to give you everything, but for me, it was a lot about just acquiring all the information, speaking to her friends and family, watching old comedy specials she did, interviews, reading her 2 books, and then whittling it down from there.
Yeah, and as we said, you not only capture her voice, you capture the essence of who she was, and you're able to tap into that essence when you play her in the film.
Thank you. That's the hope. And I was lucky, too, that I had an amazing cast and crew, including a previous collaborator of mine, Alan Tudyk, who you've definitely seen in 1,000,001 Things. He and I worked together on Resident Alien, and he has been in Star Wars, and oh my goodness, his resume is unbelievable, actually, and he's just a brilliant performer. He plays the Pope in our movie.
Yes. The Pope, the inspiration for one of Judy's first songs that she wrote.
Yeah, Judy often in her comedy sets would talk about how she was dating the Pope and just using him to get close to God. And we actually recreate her song, the Pope Song, which you can watch now on my YouTube channel under my name, Taylor Blackwell. And we released a album of all the music from the film. So the Pope Song, and then some of me doing Judy's comedy bits, and then the score, which is done by Claire McEwen, who is a really wonderful Los Angeles-based musician.
If you're listening to us and either have a film festival venue or know someone who books films for film festivals and thinks that you may be interested in including It Happened, the Judy Tenuta Story, as part of your upcoming film festival, you can contact Taylor Blackwell directly, tayblackwell@gmail.com, tayblackwell@gmail.com. That will be hyperlinked in our show notes.
Dan August. A Quinn Martin production. Starring Burt Reynolds.
You mentioned that you had collaborated with Alan Tudyk before working together on this film. Taylor, one of the cool things I learned about you is one of your other collaborators earlier in your career, you were mentored by Burt Reynolds when you first started your acting career. How did that come about, and what was it like to work with Burt as a teacher?
He was amazing. I met him when I was, I believe, 10 years old, and he grew up in my hometown. I'm from Jupiter, Florida, in South Florida, and he ran for a long time a museum and a school there and taught a master acting class, and I was brought into that class. I was taking a different class at the museum, and my teacher saw something in me and introduced me to Mr. Reynolds, and he was my friend and my teacher till he passed away. And actually, you mentioned I did some other short films. Well, one of the no-budget films was he was in it, which was so kind, and it's actually one of the last things that he ever filmed as an actor, which is really such an honor. And also Alex Deser, who's in It Happened, the Judy Tenuta Story, is also in my film called Walk On By with Burt Reynolds. So I was very lucky to have such a giant of cinema believe in me from such a young age and share passion about filmmaking and telling stories.
Taylor Blackwell is the writer, director, and star of It Happened, the Judy Tenuta Story, short biopic about the late, great, legendary Aphrodite of the accordion. The trailer for It Happened is available on YouTube. If you're with a film festival, know someone who's connected with the film festival, think they might want to include It Happened, the Judy Tenuta Story, in their next film festival, you can reach out to Taylor directly, tayblackwell@gmail.com. What else do you have in the works that you're at liberty to tell our listeners?
Well, also, another great way to keep up with me is Instagram, The Musical Mushroom.
Okay.
And I'm always posting updates on there about things I'm up to. I can't say what it is, but this week I'm going to be on an episode of a TV show, so take a look out for that. And I'm also going to be playing a show in Los Angeles pretty soon. I do music, so there'll be more info to come on that, but keep an eye out for a September performance coming from me.
Okay, you can follow Taylor on Instagram. You can reach out to her directly through her Gmail address. And as we say, the trailer for It Happened, the Judy Tenuta Story, available on YouTube if you want to get at least a small idea of what we're talking about. Taylor Blackwell, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, that Pope song is also on YouTube, so check that out too. Thank you so much.
Kiki Ebsen will join us when we come back on TV Confidential.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-222-0511. 800-222-0511. Again, that's 800-222-0511.